Hello, and welcome to the Total Wellness Factor show today. Thanks for joining us. My name is Aisha Tahir, and I'm an exercise physiologist and corporate wellness coach. I'm so glad you're here. In this episode of Total Wellness Factor show, I will be discussing the importance of corporate wellness programs. In a post-pandemic world, prioritizing the well-being of employees is more important than ever. To achieve this success, organizations can improve business outcomes such as employee engagement, customer engagement, low turnover, and workplace safety by investing in their most valuable asset, their employees. One of the most effective ways to do this is to implement a holistic wellness program. And for that, I'll be discussing the importance of wellness programming with Debbie Bellinger. Debbie is the CEO and founder of DB Fitness and Wellness Solutions, providing advisory and education services to individuals and organizations who wish to grow their businesses by adding wellness programming to their menu of services. Prior to this, Debbie has 23 years of experience as wellness director for 2 hospital systems and was senior vice president of healthy living for South Florida YMCA. And without further ado, I'm going to add Debbie to the stream. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, Aisha.
I'm so glad you're here, and I can't wait to just dig into the corporate wellness programming with you. I know you have a vast experience in the corporate wellness world, and I really want to take our viewers and listeners from the scratch here, starting from the scratch. How would you define employee wellness?
Employee wellness to me is a blend of several different pillars. One, of course, overarching, the employee is at the core of all that we do. And so we want employees to be healthy, happy, safe, engaged, feel valued, and part of a community at work. So it's many different things. I think your introduction of holistic approach is key. If we were to say what's most important generically without a formal framework, of which many exist, I think holistic is the way to view this. Having an employee feel safe, comfortable, happy, mind, body, and spirit. And having all of that in a day-to-day work situation is the key.
Yeah, I love it how you just emphasize that having that in daily, every day-to-day situation is what is important. It's not like, okay, every quarter you offer a class and then it's all, good and done. Well, yeah, of course that helps, but it's not emphasized daily and it's not reinforced daily. And that's something that what the real gist of employee wellness programs is. So then what are some of the benefits of employee wellness programs to the organization, and also in terms of what the employees can gain out of it?
So let me start with the organization. I think the benefits far outweigh the cost. And my experience, having done this work for 25 plus years, it is the right thing for organizations to do by their teams. And for me, it's a non-negotiable. I can't imagine a workforce without it, because the benefits to the organization far exceed the cost. And we can talk about that in a little bit. But for an organization that is considering whether or not to have workplace well-being programs, the benefits are many. You can look at individuals' employee health and the factors around employees learning better health at work. So removing barriers where you bring education, prevention, lifestyle changes, all of those things to the employees where they spend the most of their day, which is at work. And when we're doing that kind of work, the organizations benefit because employees have on-site or hybrid, however it's delivered, workplace education. So it leads itself to greater employee satisfaction. So it's way more fun to do workplace well-being, couch to 5K, join a weight loss program with a bunch of colleagues. It's not a budget meeting, right? So the benefits of having these kinds of initiatives is I get to make new friends at work. I love my day at work more because I did something fun in my day. It's a give back from the company to the employees. So there's a degree of goodwill. My employer cares about me. That's huge. And effectively, if you're committed to the long game with this work, employees are happier at work when they have opportunity to have this education at work. So employee engagement, employee satisfaction, team building, employee retention, all of these things have costs to employers. So if you can keep your workforce happy and healthy, there is downstream savings to that. So the economics of having workplace well-being is a must for organizations. So that's the spin-off for organizations. There is economic benefit, and then there's other soft benefits that are less tangibly measured, but you can measure employee satisfaction if you want to. Now, on the employee side of things, we all know that when you're in the workforce, 8, 10, 12-hour days of work, often our health and fitness is what goes to the side. You have children, you have a partner, you have a home, you have family members to care for. Often, more so often than not, employees will let their fitness slide. And because once they get home, they are doing all the things that they need to do in the home environment. And this applies also in hybrid and work from home, right? Separating church and state. So if an employer can bring employee wellness programs to employees during their workday, that is the magic sauce for many wins. For the employees to be able to have time, 10 minutes of movement, 15 minutes of movement, 15 minutes of education, going out for a walk with team members, getting outside, vitamin D, a little bit of exercise. It all adds up to a huge employee benefit. And of course, we know that employee wellness programs live in human resources. So technically it is considered a benefit, but there's so many wins for employees as well if they choose to engage. And if you're looking at long-term engagement, one program and then another, over time, employees will start to move the needle on their health metrics. Because baked into the education, valuing our health, we start to pay attention to, I don't think I should skip my annual well visit. I should go see my doctor and have my annual well visit. Because I understand if I let it slide for 3 years, I might have prevented a hypertension diagnosis or chronic stress that becomes burnout, right? So elevating the workforce by bringing workplace well-being programs to the employees is a huge win-win for the organization and the individuals at work.
Yeah. How wonderful. I love how you just spoke about that the first thing that goes is the employee's fitness and individual's fitness. And it's funny that you bring it up because I was at a CrossFit gym this morning. For our viewers and listeners, I'm visiting my family in California, and I didn't want to skip my workouts for 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, I'll just get like a guest pass there. And I met this gentleman, Pat, today, and he was telling me how he's coming back after 5 months. And I was like, oh, okay, so, what happened? Were you busy? Like, were you away on vacation or you got injured? And he's like, no, I was just so busy with work. I couldn't come to the gym. And one of the things that he said, which was kind of magical for a person like me and you who work in corporate wellness, he's like, you know what? I was feeling so bad about myself. And I couldn't move anymore. I was starting to experience pain in my shoulders and knees. And this is when he's not working out. And he's like, I decided, no, this is going to be the week and I'm going back. I'm going to start slow, but I'm going back. And I'm like, Pat, that's so awesome that, you're back. So I agree with you. This happens so often. And if there was a way in which the employer and organizations could offer, even if it's a 30-minute, maybe it's a 15 to 20-minute workout during the day, which is built into the work day for employees, that takes away a lot of like stress from the employees. So I love how you mentioned that. And that, in essence, it's an employee happiness program. I think you have told me that, right? So
Yep.
you're just keeping the workforce happy like that because it does reduce stress. And then not only are we looking at the mental stress, which of course is such an important predictor of productivity for organizations and employees both, but we are also looking at physical stress, where
Mm-hmm.
I talk about, having better posture, because when
Mm-hmm.
we are stressed out, then we are tense. What does that lead to? That leads to movement dysfunction. And then movement dysfunction leads to pain and arthritis and all these other orthopedic issues that we see.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So, given the employee wellness is a predictor of numerous business outcomes like employee engagement, customer engagement, workplace safety, how can employees create a culture of wellness within their workplace? Who do they approach if they want to bring a program to their department, to their company?
That's a great question. And let me highlight before I answer the question, my philosophy based on my work experience in the 25 years of providing corporate wellness programs. It is a shared responsibility between the organization, teams, and individual employees. So I love that you're asking this question, because in all of my experience, I've heard everything. Sometimes it goes like this, Aisha. Well, it's the C-suite's responsibility to make us healthy. I'm sorry, but health is a personal journey. The infrastructure in which the employee wellness programs are delivered and assigning a budget to commit to make it happen, those are C-suite responsibilities. But when we talk about creating employee wellness programs, I want the listeners to understand that it is a blend of C-suite responsibility, teams, and individuals. And we all have a voice and a responsibility to create the culture of wellness in an organization. So if we start with individuals, the individual employees, what can they do to create a culture of wellness? There are a lot of things, most particularly post-pandemic. What has bubbled up with the Great Resignation and individuals having time to think about their lives with the massive shutdown and maybe some time, and is a reevaluation of work-life balance and happiness. And so there's a new term that's getting more steam. Employee voice equals employee choice. And so employees have a lot more power today to be heard, to make change in the workforce. So if employees want workplace wellness programs, the best thing to do is to speak with other employees and find out the interest, then take it to their direct managers, have conversations. We'd like workplace well-being opportunity. And then fundamentally to engage with human resources, because human resources is the department that is responsible for employee wellness and benefits. So you have to start the conversations. Furthermore, I would say lead by example. Be a wellness ambassador as an employee. So if I, Debbie, am working for company ABC and I'm a runner and I really want to see my employee colleagues have opportunity to move, maybe it's not running, but I might speak with HR about leading a walking group 3 days a week at lunchtime. Get permissions, create the walking group, and create a groundswell of interest that basically human resources can't ignore, right? Because once you get employees engaged, then the more employees engaged, the stronger the voice, the more attention this initiative will receive. Another strategy is, if you know, and I use this one all the time in my companies, if there's a member of the C-suite that is active and committed to their personal health and wellness journey, have the conversations with them. So let's say the CFO or CNO or COO is a pickleball player or a runner, or you just are a golfer. You just know they're active and they are engaged in their own personal health journey. Have the conversations with the next level of leadership to plant seeds to create this groundswell and momentum of generating the idea that there's interest from the employees, boots on ground, to have employee wellness at work.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I do want to highlight what you just ended on, is that if you have a team member in senior management, or even within your department, who you know is engaged in their physical and mental fitness, those are your go-to people to talk to first.
Yes.
So that's great, because more often than not, it's the connection. Like, we need to connect with someone who is also interested in the programming, and that's the way to go to bring a wellness program into your department or into your company. So what are the top 3 health concerns that you think are affecting the employees post-pandemic at this time?
Yeah, that's a great question, Aisha. So many things have changed, right? And so with the work from home changes, hybrid work, now we're seeing a return to work swell, like into work a couple of days a week. But I do think we're shifting more in the return to work. With that being said, the top 3 health challenges pretty much are predicated upon having had employees working from home at a much greater level. Prior to the pandemic, it was roughly 1 in 67 Americans who worked from home. Post-pandemic, 1 in 6 or 7, moving towards 1 in 10. Again, it's swinging back towards return to work. What that has created in the last 3+ years is a workforce of professional sitters. And what that has created is 3 major health risks. This is your topic. So the top 3 that are cost drivers to employers right now are obesity, musculoskeletal issues from all of the sitting and all that comes with that, which you're the expert in, and mental health challenges. Those are the top 3. They have a lot of variables attached to each. As we know, obesity being number 1. If you have an obesity diagnosis, which means your BMI is greater than 30, you likely have employees with other metabolic conditions. And so the cost of their care on a health plan is much higher than a low-risk employee. So obesity comes with hyperlipidemia, hypertension, diabetes, sore knees, sore backs. All of these are cost drivers. So one employee might be having multiple doctor's visits and taking a myriad of medicines for all of these conditions, right? So that's huge opportunity for health and wellness professionals, because we know that exercise is medicine. Musculoskeletal issues are a huge cost driver right now, as you referenced earlier, because with the sitting posture all day, we are having diminished circulatory systems, we're having back pain, neck, shoulder pain, and pain, unfortunately, mirrors depression. So this gentleman that you just met, he's the perfect example. He basically said, Mr. Pat said to you at the gym this morning, I feel sick. Today's the day. I'm done with not feeling well. My whole body hurts. That's what happens when you sit all day, right? So musculoskeletal costs are on the rise for employers, and that's a huge opportunity for health and fitness professionals, personal trainers, Group X. Get into small to medium-sized employers, get the employees up out of their chair, get them moving, all of these things, right? And then, of course, mental health is deemed as the number 1 health and well-being concern for employers by the American Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy. He wrote a position paper October 22. It is a beautiful read. It has a framework for what the structure and infrastructure of mental health and well-being should look like, how you should take care of your employees at work, with 5 pillars in it. So I also feel like that third concern, mental health and wellness, well, we as health and wellness fitness professionals, we know exercise is medicine. We know mindfulness is key. We know recovery is key. Meditation, breathing techniques, all of these things that we're trained to do, We need to get in front of employers and support them in delivering these programs to their employees. So to reiterate, the top three concerns: obesity, musculoskeletal issues from all of the sitting, and mental health and well-being.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love how you have broken down the top three health concerns. And I think starting from the top, obesity, which is, having a higher BMI and having more adipose tissue around your internal organs, that's where we are concerned. We're not concerned about the body size. We are talking about the adipose tissue that is impacting your health directly, which includes, it's packed around your intestines and your stomach and your liver, and even, we know that there's plaque around the heart walls and stuff. That is what we are talking about here. That definitely raises the healthcare cost, of course, for the companies, but we're more concerned about here the employee, which is the biggest asset. And remembering that on the other end of this computer screen is a human being. And we as human beings, we want to help each other, and we want to help them live a better, healthier life, right? Because we want the life to have that, a living being to be able to follow their dreams, to be able to accomplish that they came in this world to do. And one of the ways, which is the most important way to do it, is to address that employee, that human being's well-being. So obesity does come in first, because, and I just want to clarify this because a lot of times this gets lost in the conversations. It's not about the body size, it's about your health. And the more you weigh, just 1 pound extra weight on your body increases the shear forces on your knee by 4 times. So that's what the comparison is, leading into the musculoskeletal issues. So, and then you talked about mental health. And I think both those components together, obesity and MSKs, they kind of join forces and drive into the mental well-being too, because those are almost like your symptoms for poor mental health. Right? So I just love how you have broken those down, because not only are they going to help the organizations, but they are also helping that individual who you have hired, and you want them to materialize their dreams, to follow their dreams, to live a life of purpose. But how's that going to happen? That's going to happen if you're providing for their well-being. So I just love that. Thank you so much. Now, so here's the thing. I have been working in corporate wellness, and I've had conversations with many HR managers and sometimes even the directors of the departments if we are going for a department-wide wellness program. One of the concerns that I most often hear from the employers is this, that how can I measure the ROI? How can I measure the value of the program you are going to bring in? And I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because I think all the parties involved, like the organizations, the HR department, us as the providers, and the employees as the participants of the program, I think that's a question on everybody's mind, and it would help clear up a lot of like that friction that we have in the organizations at this time.
That's right. So one of the things I will share, there is a difference between the value on investment, the VOI, and the ROI. And when I started early, ROI, return on investment. When I started in corporate wellness, Aisha, early on in my career, every convention I went to, every conversation that was had with a C-suite member was always about the ROI. And it kind of still is, but not so much anymore. You just have to be really smart about the work. So it basically, return on investment, show me the money. If we invest $100,000 in a corporate wellness program, show me the money. You have to prove to me that we will save $100,000. Now here's the problem with that. If you only use that metric, I've read all kinds of studies and research, and for every dollar invested, save 3, and so forth and so on. It is not that simple, and it's not the place to have a conversation with an HR director, because there are too many variables in every individual's lives that impact health metrics. So Aisha might be engaged in the employee wellness program. She's doing one program and another, and her waist circumference has come down. Her blood pressure is improving. She's lost a couple of pounds. 6 months down the road, she's an active employee wellness participant with great metrics shifting the actual concrete data, the health metrics that we can measure, right? Hard facts. And then Aisha's mom gets sick, and Aisha has to fly out to San Diego for 2 weeks to take care of mom. Then she's back and forth across the country because mom has no other caregiver. And for the next 3 months, Aisha is not actively engaged in her health and wellness journey at work anymore or independently, because she truly doesn't have the time to prioritize. There's work, there's family, and there's a mom on the West Coast that Aisha is taking care of. So the ROI with just measuring hard dollars, there's too many variables at play there. Do we still want to measure all the data and have biometrics? Absolutely, that's a given. But it's not the only way to show success of an employee wellness program. Because at the same time, while we're doing biometrics assessments and measuring blood pressure, height, weight, waist circumference, number of steps per day, number of hours of sleep, how many servings of fruits and veggies, all concrete data, pre-assessments, posts, and we need our data. We absolutely do. Running corollary with that conversation is the value on the investment. So how does an employer see value in an employee wellness program in addition to the health metrics? How you see that is cost savings and cost avoidance and employee engagement with employee engagement surveys, employee satisfaction with employee satisfaction surveys, retention rates. Do you have a churn and burn and this swirly door where employees don't even stay 90 days? Or are your employees staying year over year because they feel happy and healthy at work? We want to measure both sides of that coin, right? And when you have the full story, then you can start to have conversation with your C-suite members to show the value on investment. So you want to also look at things like an employee engagement survey, employee satisfaction survey. And in the longer term play, when you're speaking with a CFO, you need to be able to look at claims data and cross-correlate trends in claims data that show improved health of the employees. And at the same time, cross-correlate the claims data to the biometrics data to show that your employee wellness program is working. That is the gold. So I don't hang my hat on just ROI because it's too multifactorial to even make sense of it year 1 to year 2 to year 3. It's just not that simple, right? But I think if you take the path of biometrics data, claims data, and the softer data of engagement satisfaction, you now have a story to show the value and the cost savings and cost avoidance of what these programs are bringing to your organization.
Yeah. I love how you have explained the difference between ROI and VOI, and value on investment is a far more encompassing definition of wellness, right? And how you can measure the impact of the wellness program. So thanks for explaining that. So now for the organizations or employees who want to bring in wellness programs to their organization, where do they start? Like, how can they find the resources?
So I think one of the most important things is you can look at short-term solutions in employee wellness and getting started, and long-term solutions. So the most immediate thing to do is to review your benefit plan structure and what is offered in the benefit plan. So look at what you're already paying for as an employer. So if you're partnered with Blue Cross, United, Humana, other insurance groups, what are you already paying for? Are you paying for health coaching, telephonic coaching? Do you have a wellness platform with incentive points, with premium reductions? If we do A, B, C, start there. Then we as wellness providers want to come in and fill the gaps for the things that don't pre-exist with the insurance provider. And the step to take there is to find the right wellness partners to come in and fill those gaps. Bring education to work. Bring the gym to work. Like you said, Aisha, 15 minutes of movement. We used to run 20-minute yoga classes. And I'm like, the employees asked for it. I'm like, really? You're going to show up for 20 minutes of yoga? And don't you know they did? We couldn't find big enough little boardrooms to move tables and chairs out of the way to have yoga at work during the day. The employees loved it. You know, that 20 minutes is so valuable with mental health, stress reduction, seeing your colleagues, learning how to breathe, refreshing your cells and your spirit. 20 minutes, go back to work, you're way more productive. I could not believe the popularity of a 20-minute yoga class. So we need to come in as wellness partners and make things happen. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it's gold. Bring the gym to work. So if there's individuals like Pat, they're not all by themselves in their minds going, I should start today. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start today. No, I'll start tomorrow. If it's at work and we make it easy, the easy choice for employees, that might lead to further engagement, like 2 days a week, I'll go back to the gym because I've got started, right? It's the get started, the 80%. So I think those are some strategies that really can help move the needle with how do we get started with a wellness program. And then most important, if an organization is serious, no matter the size, 50 employees, 5,000, there has got to be a dedicated employee who owns employee wellness. It could start with a half-time employee for a smaller company. It could start with a student intern. We used to do that all the time. And then with the bigger organizations, put it into your budget to have an employee health and wellness coordinator. Someone has to own the work. Someone has to champion the work and produce the marketing materials, the registration, the final reports, the data, present back to leadership to show you the value add, all of these things. You cannot expect an employee wellness program to thrive without an assigned wellness champion as an employee, because HR, as you know just as well as I do, they are way too busy. You cannot put this on them. So if you're having conversations with CEOs, CFOs, CNOs, COOs, start planting seeds as to what it is that they need to succeed at this investment in employee wellness. Because if you don't take that step, there will not be the commitment at the level that is needed to play the long game, which is needed. Like you said, it's not one lunch and learn. That's not going to move the health needle. It just isn't. It's a good start. Start there. But play the long game with a longer term vision of a full commitment to an employee to oversee employee health and wellness.
Great. Thank you, Debbie. I love how you have highlighted first, reach out to the wellness partners, which are people like us who are offering the services, and then having that wellness champion within your company who's also going to help out with the data collection and get that momentum going within the organization is so important. I think a lot of people and organizations just miss that part. And I think that's the missing link. So thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. And thank you for actually answering all of these questions and discussing the benefits of a good employee wellness program. Any parting thoughts, and how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, so my parting thoughts would be get started. Get started. Don't wait. You can do simple things that don't cost a lot while you're making the case to maybe get approval of a budget for 6 lunch and learns to get started. Just ask for help. Just ask. Debbie and Aisha can meet you in the middle. We can customize a solution with you. You don't always have to come out of pocket. Insurance providers can meet us in the middle as well. So we might do a 15-minute lunch and learn or movement session, and the insurance group, if we ask, might show up with a giftie or a giveaway. And so you've started, like you said, Aisha, started the ball rolling. So my parting message is just get started. Don't let another year go by that you don't have things in place for wellness at work. It is too important, and we're headed this way with a public health crisis, and we need to bend that curve a little bit. So we all need to come together, support one another, and get started. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, and as far as finding me, I will type my website here. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to follow you. You follow me. We'll lift everyone up together. Aisha and I will lift you up. Just reach out and just know we're in your universe cheering you on to make a difference with your workforces and help you to find the right partners and take some steps to get started.
Wonderful, Debbie. Yeah, when I post this recording again on LinkedIn later today, I will post all of your social media links and your website as well. But Debbie and I are very active on LinkedIn, so you can find Debbie on LinkedIn very easily. And before I say goodbye, I just want to give a shout out to Ola and Bob for joining us, because I can see their comments here. They're both saying it's nice to see both of your ladies speak. And then Bob is saying great conversation. And I see Joya just joined us too. And thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us. And thanks to Joya, Bob, and Ola for dropping the comments in the comment box. If you are watching this as a recording, don't forget to comment, because Debbie and I both will be addressing the comments in the next day or two. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us again through comments or DM us on LinkedIn, and we would love to help you answer any of your questions that you have. Oh, I see even more. Sandra is here, and Judy is here. Hey, Judy. Judy is my friend from Innovation Women, and she deals with mental health. So hi, Judy. It's so good to see you. So I am, I think there are so many things that go into creating a corporate wellness program. But just like you said, getting started is the first step, as with anything in life, right? When I was writing my book, I was so nervous, like when I started, but getting started was the first thing. And then things started coming together, right? So that it's the same concept with any programming you're offering to your employees or at work. And then collaboration. I think you also highlighted at the end the collaboration. Collaborating with your healthcare provider, right? The insurance provider.
Yes.
One of the things I want to say as a parting thought is a lot of times HR and the organizations especially, they think, oh, but we have healthcare. We are already taking care of employee wellness. But the wellness program is a supplement. It's a thing that we are gonna collaborate with your insurance company to elevate your employees' wellness. Correct. So it's not either or, it's like in conjunction with. So that would be my parting thought here. And I would love to have you back, Debbie, because I have so many other questions, honestly.
You know where to find me, and I would love to come back. This is a really important topic, and I honestly can see you and I partnering and helping some of these small to medium-sized employers get started with their strategy and getting out of the gates. You don't have to go it alone. You do not have to go it alone. You have wellness experts amidst each other. And so we're cheering you on. Reach out. Aisha, I will come back anytime.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And you have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much for all the viewers and listeners for joining us. Guess what? Today is like a biathlon of LinkedIn Lives, because in 20 minutes, I'm going live with Seth Davis, and we're going to talk about importance of sleep. for well-being.
Good.
So just go grab water from the water fountain, or just walk in the hallway for 20 minutes, because I would love that for you to do. And then come right back on LinkedIn Live and join us live. Thank you, Debbie. Bye.
Thanks, Aisha. Bye.